I will be brutally honest. Ain't nothing but being brutally honest. Coming at you with another video.
What is up, everybody? What is going on?
Welcome.
We are back with another episode. It's been a week, but hey, we're back, and I guess this week's game, I guess you can flush it in the toilet, even though it was kind of like a preseason. But hey, for those Rams fans, they're just celebrating like they won the damn Super Bowl. But congrats. Well,
They really are. How did you feel about the game going in? I know we missed last week a little bit, but did you feel like this? I mean, we didn't need to win it, but did you feel we should have won it? How do you feel about not winning the game?
I think this was more like a kind of like a free game for us because either way, it wasn't going to cost us the number one seed. So
Right.
I had a feeling we weren't going to win this one because Sam Darnold just proves to me every time that he's just not it. I just don't see it with Sam Darnold, but the defense was a lot of depth. So
Now, did you hear about the conspiracy theory of the Niners were supposed to lose this game because then it makes the wild card weekend games more interesting, but if they won it, it wouldn't be as fun? Did you hear that one?
I heard a little conspiracy about it, but I'm like saying I don't know. It kind of does make sense, but then it doesn't, because you always want to win any game no matter what. But I guess if they had to play Dallas, it probably would have been an ugly game for them. But playing Detroit, this might be the game that everybody wants to see. Everybody wants to see that game. So maybe it makes sense, but I don't believe in the conspiracy like that. You know what I mean?
I mean, I know there's a lot out there with, just the script and, the NFL in general. It was a game where I was like, it doesn't matter if we win or lose to me. I just didn't want anyone to get injured for no reason. It was kind of my big kind of takeaway. I saw that Debo played a little bit, but he got the yards that he needed to complete
a record that hasn't been
record.
done.
Yeah. So that was great. No real injuries to report. So I think all in all good, right?
Well, as far as the injuries, we dodged a bullet on some injuries. Like Clelin Ferrell is probably the only one with the injury, but he hasn't he's not expected to miss any time. I guess from the injury it was precautious. So he might not play this divisional round, but he might still play. So I don't think there's a scare, but here's the thing with the Niners, I was just like, I didn't care about this outcome of the game because I was like saying, man, as long as we can come away healthy, I'm good with that.
Yeah. I think I want to say that was probably the majority of Niner fans out there of like, as long as we stay healthy, we don't lose anything by winning or losing this game. And I agree. Okay. So here goes this. Now I want to know what your opinion is on this. How do you feel about because I know I'm so out of it, I'm still getting better. A lot of the players didn't play. So they're kind of like 2 weeks off, right? So Christian McCaffrey, we know, was injured, a calf injury. Purdy didn't play at all. How do you feel about that they're resting so much? Do you feel like that really does help them? Or do you feel like, no, you need to stay in the momentum?
For some people, they're going to say stay with the momentum, but what momentum were we getting at? We were just on a one-game winning streak, so we can build a new momentum. And plus, when this Niners team is rested, they're at their full best.
Yeah.
So it's like I think the mindset of what stands out about Brock Purdy was he actually went earlier for pre-games, which is I know most players wouldn't do this, but he comes. So I guess I saw for what Matt Mioka was saying, he was just going into the facility and all he saw was Brock Purdy out there, just warming up and doing a bunch of stuff. You know, if he keeps that mindset, I don't have a question with Brock Purdy whatsoever. It's like certain players, I can see why they're resting them because you don't want to risk any further injuries, and they've been beat up pretty badly at times. So you might want to rest them because you want them at their full best. And Kyle Shanahan just said this at a press conference. There's going to be a couple of tough practices because they want them fully ready. So I don't think the mindset has changed for them, even though they're resting. They're still going to practice. They're still going to put some work out there.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree. And I do agree with you too. Like a well-rested Niner team is
scary.
Yeah, they're a scary team to beat. So I definitely agree with that. The Niners worked out.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure we're adding some quality depth out there because of but I think as far as our cornerbacks, it hasn't really. Ooh, Casey Hayward. Speaking of Casey Hayward, that guy's got veteran experience. You know, we're going to bring some veteran guys.
Mm-hmm.
That's going to be very important for this team. Because if we want to make this deep run in the playoffs, we're going to have to add some more vets because we got a lot of young guys, especially in the secondary. I mean, if you look at our entire secondary, Travarius Ward is probably the only one with the most experience. I mean, Hufanga's out for the season, but you got a rookie like Jair Brown. You got Diamond Lenore, who's only played 3 years in the lead. And you have Avery Thomas coming into the lead as a third-year cornerback. So but you got Logan Ryan with the most experience out of all the guys in the secondary. But then you look at all the other guys. We all got young talent, so we need some veterans.
We definitely do. And then you have to remind me, who was the veteran that we just got? I want to say he was the one that was on the cruise, and then he got injured. Isn't that what happened with one of our guys?
Which one? The one that came from the cruise?
Yeah, wasn't he like on a cruise and like the Niners called me?
He's not the one that's injured. It was Jason Verrett.
Oh, that's him. Okay.
Yeah, I think Logan Ryan is the one you referred to, but he's not injured. He's actually he's the one that was playing safety for us that game, but he's been pretty solid. He's actually up to speed, so
we like that.
I wouldn't be surprised if the Niners don't go with Jair Brown on this matchup game because you want to go with the more experience. You want to make sure you get somebody who doesn't mess up like Jair Brown had some rookie moments, and I think with the Niners team they got a veteran like Logan Ryan who's been there and done it. So you might want to have somebody with the most experience. But
that totally makes sense. You want to have that experience under your belt, especially in that environment as well.
Yeah, especially in the playoffs. You want to have guys with more experience. And Logan Ryan's got Super Bowl experience. He's been there. He's won championships with the Patriots, so he knows what it takes to win. I look at this rest of this team. We got a lot of the experienced guys, like guys who've been in the Super Bowl, the guys who've actually won with different teams, but there's always that same mindset. They just want to win. They want to win it this year.
I know, and I keep telling myself too, like, I know, be excited, Antonella, but I can't want this more than them. I can't want this more than them.
Tommy's funny.
He's Tommy. I
Tommy's
believe
a funny guy.
I love it. How are you feeling about the reports of? I know a lot of other football teams, they're done for the season, so they're starting to look at coaches and defensive coordinators at other places, and a lot of them seem to be going to the Niners. How does that make you feel?
I think that our coaching staff is pretty deep. It doesn't matter who we bring in as a coaching staff because I think when you look at it, they're going to try to get some of our guys, of course. Like Steve Wilkes is going to be a hot commodity. He wasn't a hot commodity at the time, but now that he works under the 49ers coaching staff, you're going to get your opportunity to get a job. So the fact that I didn't expect this guy to get into the conversation speaks volume, man. I'm hoping some ways he sticks around, but I don't know. I think we're probably gonna see another coaching change. That's how I look at the outcome.
Yeah, I think so too. But also when you kind of look around the league, so much like McDaniels, right? And then the Texans guy, they're all from the Niners. There's so many people on other teams that originated with Kyle. So I think that also speaks volumes too.
Yeah. Well, they do got some guys who've been fired. Like Ron Rivera's been fired, so I don't know. Maybe as a coaching staff, you bring in a DC with coaching experience and all that, or Mike Vrabel just got fired by the Titans. Do you bring just in case Steve Wilkes becomes a head coach? Do you bring in those type of coaches, to be your DCs or something, because they do bring some great experience?
So this is just me asking a question because I don't know. If you were the defensive coordinator and your team won the Super Bowl, I would assume that your salary would go up. But if another team wants you as a head coach, is that a better move for you to become a head coach somewhere? Like you'd make more salary wise?
I think they go with the most money wise. Like if you're gonna be a head coach, your salary's going up. I mean, some coaching assistants like to stay loyal with the organization unless something comes to mind. But if you're really kind of excelling there, why change it? But for some guys, they want to get the big money, so I don't blame them. So they might want to take the head coaching job, even if it doesn't last too long. At least you're getting the guaranteed money out of it.
I mean, that's true. And I think Kyle's locked in for another 5 years. Didn't we say that this year?
He's been locked for a while. Yeah, they gave him an extension, so he's not going anywhere anytime soon. As much as we all like, he's not going anywhere anytime soon because how we feel as a team is like, the coaching staffs and all that. Everybody's been, there's a lot of head coaches who haven't adjusted with coaching staff changes.
Yeah.
I can't even think of anybody else but Kyle Shanahan, I believe Sean McVay, Andy Reid, and quite a few other guys. They have to they adapted through coaching changes because a lot of their staffs come and go. So a lot of them are kind of not you look at Nick Sirianni, right? Look at what's going on with his coaching staff. Right. It's not the same. Last year's coaching staff is what got him to the Super Bowl.
Right.
This year, not so much.
Yeah. Speaking of the Eagles, not so hot anymore. What's your take? What do you think is happening with them?
I think for the Philadelphia Eagles, I think in their own mindset, they're quitting on Sirianni. They're just waiting for a team to beat them up so they can go on a cruise and go on vacation. They want to get out of here.
So let me remember. Who are they playing? Aren't they going to play Tampa?
Yes. Tampa.
So how do you feel about that lineup? Because they have to go to Tampa because they are now the 5th seed. So do you feel that Tampa is going to beat them?
I think this is possible. I think this is going to be the nail in the coffin for them because the way they've been playing, I don't know.
Yeah, it's they've lost what? Out of the last 6, didn't they lose 5?
They're 1-5 in those last 6 games. So that's not a good way to go. And it just looks like they're a dead horse. They're just waiting to die into the season. They're waiting for the season to be over.
Do you also think that Sirianni's going to not be the coach anymore next year? You think he's out?
I think that's a question that we'll probably know during the offseason, but I really think the way it's going, it's not really going well for Sirianni right now.
Yeah, I see that too. I think it looks like a team that's given up and a team that isn't united. And it's also really wild. Like you could be a really skilled player, but it also goes to show that you need your team to all be on the same page with the same goal. And you can tell that the Eagles have just kind of lost their momentum.
Yeah, I think that's going to be the issue there but a lot of teams are getting beat up and some teams really needed that bye week and it could have benefited a team like the Eagles, but it didn't work in their favor. I mean, there's quite a few teams who could have used the bye week to rest. But for other fans, they're going to say, oh, we're going to be rusty. Like, come on, man. If your team was in the same situation as us, you guys would say, oh, yeah, we needed that.
Yeah, I mean, you hear it both ways. It's either like what I said at the beginning of do you need that momentum and keep going, or do you take that bye and really rest? The Niners know what's up at stake. The Niners have been here, I feel like, so many times of you almost got it. You almost got it. At what point is it that it's like, okay, we got it? Because how many times are we in these the playoffs or about to be in the playoffs or at the Super Bowl? So I think it means a lot this year and everyone kind of knowing what's at stake. And I think Purdy also will put a lot of people to rest if he goes all the way.
I mean, it's always kind of like a different way to look at it, but hey, you know what? I'm gonna just answer that comment. I kind of looked into it, and Steve Young actually kind of reversed what he said. Steve Young says if Brock Purdy has been mentally focused in practice, that's just not too much to be worried about. I looked up Steve Young's little interview, and he just said it's a little concern, but not really. Like he says, if you're focused and you're practicing, then there's no concern about it. He just says that it's only for those who rest too much.
Do we know? I'm sure it's out there. I just don't know what the outcome of like. Will the Niners end up playing? Who will they end up playing after the this weekend? Do we know? We have any ideas?
We'll find out. We'll find out. We'll definitely find out for sure. I mean, the difference is like once we find out about this wild card week, we'll see who we play.
Right.
But realistically, if I'm a betting guy, for sure, something tells me we're going to play the Rams. It just
you think we're going to see the Rams again?
We're going to play them again, but this time it's going to be the other way around where we just come away and go host the championship at home. I don't think they're going to let the Rams come into this place and beat us the second time now.
So that means you're thinking that the Rams are going to beat, don't they play?
Yeah, they're going to play the Lions. They're giving them like how they say about conspiracy, right? They want to give them Detroit, right? But they're gonna have their win against Detroit. They're gonna come over here and we're gonna beat them, and they're gonna be packing. That's my prediction. We're gonna take the Rams out of that situation. They're gonna have their little momentum, which that's the best way to build confidence. You got over your losing streak on us. You go into Detroit, you kind of just take care of business. Come back here, build your confidence, pump your chest, and then we just knock you in the teeth, and you guys are out. Yeah. That's how I look at it.
Yeah.
I don't think the Rams scare us like everybody says. They don't. We know them pretty well. They're not like the team they were as a defense. Their defense is like a young team with a lot of holes. We know how to expose it.
I think they're a lot young. Don't they have a lot more younger players on their team though on the Rams than we do?
They got a lot of young players, but their defense is not that good.
Okay, well, yeah.
It's like top 20 in defense overall. Not that good. Like pass defense, not great. Ahkello Witherspoon is one of their weakest links, but everybody's praising him like he's the best. Nah, he's got a lot of flaws in his coverage.
Yeah. I also see what Rick is saying in the comments. Like we do have Chase Young this year. It's very true.
The only thing the Rams have is their offense, but they don't have a defense that can hold up. And they almost lost to the JV Giants team. Come on, man. Even for a Rams fan, I would be concerned about playing this healthy Niners team.
Yeah, I mean,
you can't play a close game to the Giants. The Giants are even with their backups at that point with injuries. Mm-hmm. Come on, Tyrod Taylor or DeVito carved your defense. Come on,
didn't DeVito get benched? My cousin got benched.
But still, Tyrod Taylor torched that Rams defense. That's a big concern. But I do have them beating the Lions because of their defense. Lions defense is a lot worse.
So you have the Rams beating the Lions. Mm-hmm. Do you have Tampa beating the Eagles?
Yeah, I do.
You have Tampa beating the Eagles, and then do you have the Packers beating Dallas?
No, I have Dallas winning this one.
You have Dallas winning it
because
it's at home. It's
at home, and the Packers have one of the worst defense. Their defense is one of the most suspect in all the phases. Like the Joe Barry defense. This is not a matchup you want to play Dallas against because you got to have a defense to hold up on Dallas's offense. And I think for this matchup, Dallas is going to have a game against Tampa Bay.
Okay.
I just think that that's the matchup wise. I'm not like some of these other delusional Niner fans. You're just hoping for the Rams to lose, but realistically, I think the Lions are not as good as y'all think, man. I'm just saying they're not as good as y'all think. They don't have a defense. They don't have a defense that holds up. Like if you watch the Vikings, they're not even that good of a team. And Nick Mullins had 400 yards of passing in those two meetings. And Dak Prescott had almost 400 yards passing on that defense. What does that tell you? My bold prediction tells me that the Rams are going to carve up that Lions defense. And then they're going to come into Levi and they're going to lay down dead. They're going to build confidence. They're trying to build up the Rams a little bit more so they can feel good about next year.
Yeah, I can see that. Okay. Yeah, I haven't done my picks, but for sure I picked Dallas because we're at Dallas and they play really well there.
Yeah, they haven't lost in 2 years, actually, in the wild card.
And then Rams and Detroit, I wasn't sure. And then like I'm really tossed on the Eagles and Tampa because I feel like it could go either way with those two.
So who do you have on your other ones? Like, do you have the Lions winning, or do you have like the Buccaneers winning, or how do you look at it?
Well, the only two picks I'm still confused. Not confused, but I don't know. It's like the Rams and Detroit, but now you're making me feel like the Rams are going to do it. And then the Eagles and Tampa, I have no idea who to pick. Just because I feel like it could go the Eagles are playing horribly.
They're pretty much like, like when you look at the Philadelphia Eagles, their blood is in the water. Like they're just waiting for that one shark to just eat them.
I mean, I honestly could see Tampa winning. I don't think that's like out unrealistic. I kind of feel like if it was like in the beginning of the season, maybe the Eagles had more momentum, but not now.
It might be a close game, but I don't know. Tampa kind of gave Carolina a close game, so that could be a question mark, but I'm still going to go with Bucks because it's at home.
Okay, I like that.
And then, even what Tommy just said, they missed tackles too, so that could be a concern.
Okay. And then how are you feeling about the AFC side, like the Steelers and the Bills?
Like AFC, I think Kansas City is still Kansas City, but I think this is the year they finally choke because
you think the Dolphins are going to beat them.
I think Miami's going to pull off a streak. They're trying to build up for Miami right now.
Okay.
So what's the best way to build up something with Miami is to beat the Kansas City Chiefs, the defending champions. That builds momentum for them. Then you look at the Buffalo Bills against the Steelers.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't have a good matchup. It really doesn't have a good matchup. Mm-hmm. This has disaster written all over it, in my opinion. Buffalo is just going to carve Pittsburgh. It's not going to be close. I don't know. Something just tells me that the Steelers are just that one bad matchup for Buffalo because Buffalo seems to have a good matchup on them.
And then the Texans and Browns.
Oh, this has a making of a really good game. This could be a shootout, but I think Cleveland's going to be the winner. I think Cleveland. Really? I think it's Cleveland. And then Cleveland. Okay, so Cleveland and Baltimore are going to play each other, one or the other. It's just going to happen.
Okay. All right. You don't think DeMeco Ryans can do it and beat the Browns?
I don't know. The Browns have a really good their defense is legit. Yeah. Their offense is a little bit explosive, but Texans, they're going to be hungry. They're going to be good next year. Really, really good.
I see what is it? CarCast 49er said Lions have ballers on defense.
Nah, dude. Okay, dude. This is where I disagree with you, CarCast, because the hype on the Lions, bro, their defense is not that great, dude. Do I got to show you the matchup? Dude, they just gave Nick Mullins the most passing yards. And, dude, Nick Mullins had one of his best games. You might as well put Nick Mullins in the Hall of Fame. Dak Prescott had one of his best performances. Nick Mullins had a 400-yard passing game, bro. Like, anybody who plays the Lions defense, you're gonna have Madden numbers. I don't think it's gonna be a good matchup, dude. I'm telling you. If I'm wrong, I hope I'm wrong about it, but I just don't see it as a good matchup. I'm not trying to be like those. I'm not trying to throw shots at all the fan base, bro. I know you guys want the Rams to lose so bad. I don't really care who we play. I really don't. I just think the Rams match up too much for the Lions defense. Lions defense is overrated, dude. They cannot cover. They can't. Like I've seen, like if you watch check out the Detroit Lions games and look at how many yards they've given up and how many points. That's where I question Detroit. Their offense is good. It's really good, but their defense is really bad. If you think the Rams defense is not that good, then you got to look at Detroit's defense. It's like playing Madden. I can go plug in Sam Darnold on Madden and carve the Lions defense if I wanted to. That's how bad it is. I could just plug in Sam Darnold. Yep, and their defensive line is they only have Aiden Hutchinson. That's all they got is Aiden Hutchinson. That's pretty much their best pass rusher. Yeah, their offense is really good, but not as good as their defense is.
Isn't there that theory of that defense is what wins games, though?
Yep, and that can be what hurts the Lions in some ways. I like Detroit as an offensive juggernaut team, but defense, man, I don't know.
Okay, so you think
they do have a great offensive line, yeah.
So Stafford, right? Is it Stafford? Lions?
Stafford,
No,
yeah, but
Rams.
and all the Rams got is a wash-up Arenado too. So who wants to look at it? They got to worry. They got a good offensive line, but I think their defense doesn't really match up.
Oh, Jim, I don't think that Bosa and Fred are washed up.
They're not washed. He just really doesn't like them. That's the thing. That's his only opinion. He would say that about Michael Parsons was washed if he wasn't playing for the Rams either. I mean, any player, even Max Crosby, he would probably call him washed because they don't play for the Rams.
Oh.
Bosa's an all-pro, but hey, who am I to judge, man? I think this is pretty much build up for the Rams to win this game.
Mm-hmm.
And then this is build up for the Niners to just beat the brakes out of them. And then it's pretty much to the conference. I think this is what everybody wants to get is the Niners to host the championship at Levi Stadium. But the question is, who?
Right.
Everybody wants, but there's something that's always got to get over the hump, right? Everybody's saying Dallas hasn't been past the divisional round, right?
Right.
What's a better way to make ratings better, right?
Yeah, if you're going to
the
go
Niners
down
and
this route.
Cowboys. You want Dallas and San Francisco compete for the championship, right? Doesn't that have something to do with the selling? They want to make this the most watched NFC championship game in history. I think that's what we're looking at. But since Dallas is playing at home, this favors them until they play on the road. So I might have Dallas going into the conference if they play exactly the way they're playing.
So you're saying that so it's a bye week for us this week, then the next week we would potentially be playing the Rams, and then you're saying the next game we would be playing Dallas at home.
I think that's where it's leaning towards because look, if the Cowboys can beat the Packers, which I believe they could, because they're not like their defense is a little bit bad, but their offense can keep up. But Jordan Love's going to make a lot of mistakes. I think the one game that's going to be concerning is I think Dallas has the easiest road to get to the conference as far as playing at home, because all they got to do is beat the Packers, right? Packers is probably going to be their toughest challenge. Tampa Bay, I don't know. Tampa Bay, Philadelphia, if they even come like, hey, you know what? This is what everybody wants. They want us to play the Eagles because they're beat up. It's like red meat. You want to eat them like dogs, right?
Yeah, but you also noticed that didn't Jalen Hurts hurt his finger too last game?
Yeah.
Excuse me. So it's almost like karma's already coming back to.
I think they want to build, but we'll see what happens. Yeah.
You think that? I do hear your theory, and I do think rating wise that does make sense to have, Dallas at Levi's for the championship.
They've tried with the Rams and it just doesn't work. Nobody wants to really watch the Rams. They don't really care for them. That's just how sad it is. They got a Super Bowl and nobody cared for it.
So I feel like we're both still saying that we're at the Super Bowl still feels like it's going to be the Niners and the Ravens.
I think that's what it's been written onto. I don't know if that's legit, but I think that's what we're going towards because those are the two best teams in their conference.
Yeah.
I don't see another team besides, I think the Rams might give us a decent game, but I don't think it's going to be a contest. I think it's going to be like a touchdown or 10-point differential that we beat them.
Yeah.
And the only team that everybody says that we should be worried about, I don't think it's Dallas. Nah. They're going to play better this time around they are, but they're not going to beat us. It's just going to be the same outcome. It's not going to be a blowout. It's probably going to be a 10-point win or maybe a 2-touchdown win. And you might just get the Ravens or the Browns. I think this is my dark horse for the AFC. It's the Cleveland Browns. If they play the way they're playing. If they play the way they're playing, I don't know if Baltimore wants to play them.
I agree with Tommy. Dallas scares nobody. They always end up choking, and I don't mean to be mean, but
when you got Green Bay and Tampa Bay as your possible opponents, that should be winnable for the Dallas Cowboys, if I'm being honest.
It should be, but I've seen them lose.
They crumble, yeah.
Yeah. And we'll
see. If they get past the Packers, I could see them easily getting towards that, yeah. Flacco doesn't scare us. He was with the Ravens. He doesn't really scare us.
I mean, to be honest with you, as I look at the schedules and the potentials, the only one that does make me think twice is the Ravens. The Ravens are
like the only team that scares us the most out of everybody else. Nobody in the NFC really scares us. I'm not really getting scared with the Rams like that. You don't have a defense. how you're going to keep up with us. Like we can stop your offense a couple series, and all we got to do is just keep on scoring a little more. That's been the Rams' issue, is they've been fall behind a lot of times.
Well, then also the game that we just played against them right now, it was all of our secondaries. I mean, it was Sam. Sam was in there. We didn't even have
Larry Krueger. Larry Krueger's giving you, like, I think Larry Krueger is trolling you, Jim Everett. Larry Krueger trolls, bro. He's just trolling, bro. Larry is a troller. He's trying to get you Rams fans to buy into his little hype because of the media. But I've talked with Larry Krueger. He's trying to fool you guys. He told me that he doesn't feel no concern about the Rams at all. He doesn't fear the Rams. Actually, like in a conversation, I told him, why would you feel that way? He says, it's not even going to even be that close of a game. Yeah. Larry Krueger is a troll. But who's better, Lions or Rams? I think on paper, everybody's going to say the Lions are, but I think as a team in general, I don't really think the Lions match up to the Rams. And we'll see what happens. But so if you had to pick your scoreboard prediction, since we're just outside watching, I'm going to say the Rams win by 4 points against the Lions.
Okay, I want to write this down. You're going to say that the Lions are going to win. No, the Rams are going to win by 4 points.
Yeah, they're going to win by 4 points. I say 28-24. They're going to go in the Ford Field and win this game.
Okay. What about Eagles, Tampa?
Tampa, it's going to be 24-13. I got Tampa Bay winning that one.
Whoa, oh, yeah, you do. Okay.
Okay, yeah, because the Eagles are beat up, and they're going to come into this game really beat up. And the Buccaneers, they're going to at least put it to rest for them. I mean, if the Giants can beat them, then why not Tampa?
And then Packers and Dallas.
Packers and Dallas. I say Dallas 34, Packers 27. They're going to at least play a little decent game, but I think Dallas is going to win this one by a touchdown.
Okay, that's how you feel about that. Do you want to do the AFC too?
Yeah, but you want to do your scoreboard first?
No, because I'm so out of it.
Okay, for AFC,
Steelers and Bills. Who do you have?
Steelers and Bills. I say Buffalo 38-17. I got the Bills
38-17.
Blowout.
Okay.
It's going to be a boat race.
Dolphins and KC.
I say Miami's going to barely squeak a field goal to win, so I'm going to say 24-21. Dolphins. Fins up, like they say.
Oh, my God. Yeah, I want the Dolphins to win, too. And then Browns and Texans, yeah. Right?
Browns and Texans. I say 34-24 Browns.
Wow. Okay.
I mean, I think Texans are going to be good next year, and I think Green Bay is going to be another team coming down the rise next year too.
Yeah, I see that happening too. I think that for sure. Okay, well, it's a bye week for us, and it's going to be a really great weekend for the wild card, and then kind of matches up everything for moving forward into the championship. Yeah. No, divisional, then championship.
Yeah, we'll definitely see what happens. But, since we already got all to the basics, we'll definitely do more next week. I know you got some stuff to do. So
I do, and I'm under the weather, so I'm sorry I'm not as hyper as I usually am, friends and family. But
it's all good. It's all good.
I am here, and I appreciate everyone. And let's hope for a fun wild card weekend. Weekend.
Absolutely. And thank you guys for tuning in, and we'll see y'all next week.
Bye, everyone.